Welcome in and thanks for joining us for the WHHI Daily News, where we strive to bring you more Lowcountry news more often. I'm Bob Stevens. We begin with some very good news from the Penn Center, the place where Martin Luther King wrote the I Have a Dream speech. Well, the Penn Center on St. Helena Island has just announced, the day after MLK Day, that it's received the largest single donation in its 160-year history, $2 million, from philanthropist Mackenzie Scott, the ex-wife of Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, and a writer herself. The center says it'll use the money to help restore some buildings on its campus and to endow expanded future offerings. Scott's given out more than $14 billion over the last few years. She recently gave the Girl Scouts nearly $85 million. You know, it was a poet and monk, John Lydgate, who wrote that you can please some of the people all of the time and all of the people some of the time. You've heard the line. But what about pleasing just a few people on occasion? Beaufort County's council has voted once to spend $2.7 million on infrastructure improvements to the All-Joy boat landing in Bluffton. That makes some people happy, but many other residents are upset, saying they're not spending it on drainage and flooding problems that have plagued the area for decades. The county is taking advantage of a buyer willing to sell to purchase a parcel of land next to the boat landing that will allow for expanded parking and public access, and a pier as well, and add a sidewalk along All-Joy Road. But some residents would like to see drainage issues fixed first. County engineers say they are studying the flooding problem, and the new parking lot won't make it worse. Beaufort County's council would also like to swap 60 acres off the Okeechobee Highway from its Rural and Critical Lands program for 10 acres next to Eagles Field off the Bluffton Parkway, so that the county can build a library and ball fields on that Okeechobee site. But the Lands Program Board says no, saying it's not an even swap, especially from a conservation standpoint. Now the county council will have to have a supermajority approve a deal by overriding the Rural and Critical Lands recommendation at its meeting next week. You've heard the song from Neil Sedaka and others about how breaking up is hard to do. Well, 43-year-old Beverly Gordon of Lobeco has finally turned herself in for breaking into her boyfriend's rental home in Burton and setting it on fire last October. Deputies say the home was ransacked before it was torched. Gordon's been charged with burglary and arson. And we've told you often about scammers who prey on our more senior neighbors. Well, the Island Packets found a 13-year-old boy from Beaufort who's thwarted a scammer at Publix on Robert Smalls Parkway. Renner Taylor heard an elderly man talking on a speakerphone with the scammer in the bathroom about buying gift cards. He came out and, remembering YouTube videos the family had watched a couple of weeks earlier, told his mom. The two intercepted the man, then talked to a store manager who did not sell the gift cards to him, nipping the scam in the bud. For more information on these and other Lowcountry stories, we invite you to visit the sources listed on your screen. We certainly have not been seeing weather like they've been seeing out in California. How about our weather? Is it going to stay almost spring-like or turn back to winter? Maria Soden has more.
Thanks, Bob. Yep, so taking a look ahead, it does look like we're seeing more spring-like weather this week, with the temperature going back up into the 70s, and we may see a few thunderstorms later in the week. But taking a look at Tuesday, however, it's going to be cloudy, with Hilton having a high of 64, a low of 47, Bluffton's going to have a high of 68, a low of 42, and Beaufort's going to have a high of 68, a low of 44. The sunrise for Tuesday is going to be at 7:24, and sunset's going to be at 5:43. Taking a look at the beach tides, low tide's going to be at 12:17 p.m., and high tide's going to be at 4:57 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week, Wednesday is going to be partly cloudy to sunny throughout the day, with highs in the 70s and lows in the 50s. Come Thursday, it's going to be partly cloudy in the morning with a thunderstorm in the afternoon, but should be clearing up by the evening. Highs are going to be in the 70s, lows in the 50s. And then come Friday, it's going to be hazy in the morning, then it's just going to turn into partly cloudy the rest of the day, with highs back down in the 60s and lows in the 40s and 50s. That's it for today. Let's head back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. Still to come, Justin Jarrett with more on the Blitz Border Bowl, one last football game for Lowcountry high school seniors. We're also going to talk about an innovation summit for women. And up next, Charlie Fest. Stay with us.